My name is Sachin Chaube. We will be today discussing on GitHub Copilot with Kubernetes. It will be a series of uh, posts. So this is part one about GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is it's a it's an AI tool which help developer in writing the code. And we will be in this demo. We will be also trying to write on Kubernetes and how fast this GitHub Copilot help us would be the demo which we are going through about that. It's a really nice tool. It's not only support YAML or Kubernetes based deployment, but it supports lots of programming languages based on your requirement. You can use that. Currently, I'm doing the demo on YAML for Kubernetes. You can do it as per your requirement. We'll be using Visual Studio Code for this demo. About Visual Studio Code, it's from the family of Visual Studio Enterprise, and it's a free version which supports all the OS. But I will be using Mac, but people mostly prefer to use on Mac or Windows. Now comes to the demo. So what we'll be covering in demo is basic overview on GitHub Copilot. We'll create a deployment with 3 replicas. Then we'll create a service. Then we'll create an ingress resource for that service. That's a very small part of it. So let's directly move to the demo. Okay, so before we start the demo, let me tell you about GitHub Copilot. So I have procured Copilot individual subscriptions. So there are 2 subscriptions in GitHub Copilot. Either you can go for individual or you can go for business. If you're working for organizations and they have procured for all their developers, so you can take the business subscriptions. But in my case, I'm using individual subscriptions. So we'll go and work on top of that. So if you click on Copilot, your ID, it's based on which ID you're working. So as discussed earlier, I'm working on Visual Studio Code. People use JetBrain, and there are multiple IDEs which people are using, and based on that they can work. It's personal choice out there. Okay, so back to the business. So as you can see, I'm using Mac, so it telling me to press Command and I. It is asking me to tell the requirement. So first I will say create deployment with 3 replicas with namespace elite with image nginx latest. So you give the requirement to Copilot, it will create. Okay, so as per the requirement, it created 3 replicas. Okay, it give the namespace as elite, and it have created the container with the name out there. But and it says to accept, so we accept this code. But here it's advising us something is wrong. So let's see, fix this part. Okay, so what it have, when I have requested for it, I did not specify the resource limit, which is currently one of the basic requirement for deploying any container. So we find it to be smart enough, so we'll accept this part. Now we will create service. Again we'll go command I, say create service for above deployment. So yep, so it have created for us the deployment. Now we will create our third part of the delivery was to create an ingress resource. Ingress resource above service. So if you notice, it's very smart. You have only given the options to write your service name. Otherwise, it provide you all the information. For in this case, we will put elite technocrat.dev. That's a service which will be just applied out there. That's it. That is what we are covering in this demo. Let's go back to the presentation. We completed all these three parts, and thank you for this session.